Fly to Geneva, that four-star general told me right at my daddy's grave. Chile. I remember the wind more than anything else. It was whipping across that cemetery in Marietta like it owned the whole damn place, bending them little American flags planted beside the white stones. Only two other souls in sight, some groundskeeper way off in the distance, and the general standing dead in front of me, eyes steady, voice low enough that even the wind couldn't steal his words. My daddy had been buried 30 minutes earlier. No long line of mourners, no folded program listing all his achievements, no slideshow of medals. Just me, one flag, and his name carved into that marble. My daddy was a retired Navy SEAL. No medals on the wall, no war stories at the dinner table. He lived quiet, died quiet, never liked attention. Growing up right here in Atlanta, Georgia, I didn't even know what he'd really done until I was almost 20. Other kids bragged about their daddy's promotions and retirement parties. Mine fixed the fence, paid every bill early, and drank his coffee at exactly 6 every morning like clockwork. After retirement, he worked part-time at a marine supply store. Said he liked the smell of rope and salt. Never once told me about combat. When he passed, it was sudden. Heart attack right there in his kitchen. Neighbor found him after he didn't answer the door for 2 days. Medical examiner called me at my job. I was staring at my computer screen at that shipping company downtown, and the words just wouldn't register. No visible wealth, no second house, no secret life. His will was simple, handwritten, filed proper with a local Atlanta attorney. The house went to me. Everything else? Minimal. My older brother Roland called before I even finished planning the funeral. "Guess that's it, huh?" he said. Daddy never had much. Something in his tone hit different, y'all. Not grief, straight assessment. Like he was already counting coins that ain't even been counted yet. When the chaplain finished and that rifle volley echoed across the graves, something settled in my chest. Final. Clean. I was ready to walk away when I saw the general coming toward me. He didn't flash rank. I only caught the 4 stars when the sun hit his shoulder. Late 60s, calm, unhurried. He shook my hand firm. "I served with your father," he said. Shook me, because Daddy never mentioned nobody that high up. He glanced at the headstone, then back at me. "Fly to Geneva. Give them your father's name. They'll understand." No explanation, no movie pause, just handed me a plain white card. No logo, just a Swiss phone number and a last name written neat in ink. Before I could even open my mouth, he nodded once and walked off. I stood there, holding that card long after he disappeared between the rows of marble. Didn't tell Roland a word. That evening, I went back to Daddy's house in Atlanta. Still smelt like Old Spice and motor oil. Boots by the door, coffee mug clean in the rack. Nothing screamed international money. I started opening drawers I'd never touched. Old tax returns, insurance papers, hardware store receipts, all ordinary. Then, I found his passport tucked in the back of the closet inside a worn shoebox. Pages thick with stamps. Switzerland, France, Germany. Dates going back almost 20 years. Trips I never knew existed. I sat on the edge of his bed, trying to make it make sense. Roland called again that night. "So what's the plan? You selling the house?" "It ain't even been a day," I said. "I'm just saying, if there's anything left, we should divide it clean." There it was again. Clean, efficient, transactional. He didn't leave much, I told him. Roland exhaled sharp. "Yeah, that sounds like him." After I hung up, I stared at that Swiss number. I'm not the mystery-chasing type. I'm a compliance officer at a shipping company right here in Atlanta. Careful life, steady paycheck. But the way that general spoke felt procedural, like he was delivering instructions that had been waiting decades. I called the number next morning. Woman answered in perfect English. I gave Daddy's name. Long pause. Yes, she said, we've been expecting you. My heart didn't race, it slowed. She asked when I could come. I said I needed time. Understandable. Bring identification and a copy of the death certificate. No mention of money, no accounts, just calm expectation. After I hung up, I walked the house again, noticed things I'd ignored. Locked file cabinet in the garage, small safe in the hall closet I'd never seen open. Daddy lived modest, quiet, but never careless. That afternoon, Roland texted, "Make sure you don't do anything stupid with the estate." I stared at that message a long time. For years, Roland had been struggling. Credit cards, businesses that flopped. Daddy helped him quiet, no judgment. Suddenly, I wondered if Daddy had been preparing for this exact moment all along. That night, I booked my ticket to Geneva, told nobody. When the confirmation hit my inbox, I realized something deep. My daddy didn't die with nothing. He died with instructions. And for the first time, I felt like I was stepping into a piece of him he'd never shown nobody, not even me. I lied to Roland, said I was meeting Daddy's attorney for paperwork. Kept him calm a few days. He stayed over in Decatur, only came down when he smelled gain. Morning before my flight, he showed up anyway. Didn't knock proper, just tapped twice and let himself in like the house already belonged to him. Looked around the living room taking inventory. Place looks smaller, he said. It's the same size, I told him. He ran his hand across the mantel where no medals ever hung. Hard to believe this is it. That's what you keep saying. He turned to me. I just don't want you making decisions without me. It was Daddy's will, not mine. He laughed light. Yeah, and Daddy always did things his own way. Resentment thick in his voice. Not loud, just old and settled in. We sat at the kitchen table where Daddy used to do his crosswords every Sunday. Roland leaned back. You know he loaned me money. I know, more than once. He said it wasn't a big deal. I'd figure it out. You didn't, I said quiet. That landed hard. He stiffened. Easy for you to judge. You always played it safe. Maybe I did. Steady job, mortgage paid on time, no crazy investments or boats I couldn't afford. Roland chased all that. Daddy loved you, I said. He respected you, Roland shot back. There's a difference. That line stayed with me long after he left. I packed one small suitcase, tucked Daddy's passport in my carry-on with the death certificate and my ID. Didn't know what I was walking into, but I knew it wasn't going to be gold bars. Daddy didn't live flashy. Flight was long and quiet. Gave me time to think about the years after Mama passed. Roland drifted first. I stayed. Visited every Sunday, brought groceries, listened to him talk about fishing and weather and nothing. Never once mentioned Switzerland. Landed in Geneva, and it didn't feel glamorous. Felt clean, efficient, quiet. Cab driver barely spoke English. Streets narrow and tidy. Lake gray under winter sky. Bank building understated. Stone and glass, no flash. Inside, everything moved careful. Gave Daddy's name at reception. Woman made a call. Minutes later, a man in dark suit approached. Miss Turner? Yes, come with me. Corridor smelled like polished wood. No statues, no drama, just quiet doors. Private office, door closed gentle. I'm very sorry for your loss. Your father was a disciplined man. That word hit me. You knew him? In a professional sense. He opened a folder. Daddy's signature on pages dated over 20 years. He established a trust here in 2002, maintained with consistent contributions. I stared at the numbers. Not billionaire money, but substantial, enough to change lives, protect families. This can't be right. It is correct. What was it for? Banker folded his hands. Your father designated it for former service members, medical needs, family assistance in hardship. I sat back slow. He never said a word. Confidentiality mattered to him. And me? You are the successor trustee. Funds cannot be dissolved without your approval. Roland flashed in my mind. His debts, his expectations. Other beneficiaries? Several. They don't know about his passing yet. He slid an envelope. There's also a letter, in your father's hand, only after death. My hands shook a little, picking it up. Phone buzzed. Roland. Let it ring once, then answered. So, what did the lawyers say? Still reviewing paperwork. Is there anything? I looked at the numbers. Yes, there's something. Long pause. How much? I didn't answer because right then I understood. This wasn't a fortune to split. It was responsibility. And my brother had no clue what Daddy really built. Y'all seeing this mess? Your own blood pressing you like that? What would you do, sis? I didn't tell him the amount. Said I needed time. After we hung up, I opened the letter. Daddy's block handwriting, straight lines, no fluff. If you're reading this, I didn't get to explain in person. Throat got tight. I didn't hide it out of mistrust. I hid it because money changes how people listen. He wrote about staying in touch with a small circle of men he served with, quiet check-ins. Some faced injuries that never healed, cancers from deployments, benefits that ran out. He didn't complain, just started setting money aside. You don't advertise help, he wrote. You just provide it. Folded it careful. Banker came back with more folders. Anonymized summaries. Tuition for a daughter after her daddy's stroke. Mortgage help for a widow. Medical transport for a brother in need. Daddy never flashy, but steady. This trust is currently valued at just over $12 million. Number didn't hit at first. 12 million. Daddy lived in a 3-bedroom house, drove a 12-year-old truck, clipped coupons. How? Disciplined investments, long-term conservative growth. He was consistent. That word again. Declined every chance to take money for himself. Roland always thought Daddy was tight, withholding, but he wasn't withholding. He was directing. What now? You assume oversight. Disbursements continue unless you say otherwise. You can liquidate, but tax implications. Temptation hit. Dissolve it, split it, quiet the noise. Easy. But it would erase everything Daddy built. My brother will contest this. Banker nodded. Trust is solid under Swiss and U.S. law. Family disputes happen. Gave me legal packet and contact for an Atlanta firm. This won't be dramatic. It'll be procedural. Stepped back into Geneva air. Lake still gray, steady, different. Walked slow along the water. Didn't feel rich. Felt responsible. That evening Roland called. Don't dodge me. What did he leave? Daddy created a trust. For who? Veterans and their families. Silence. And us? I'm the trustee. That's not what I asked. There's money, but it's not sitting in a checking account waiting to be split. How much? 12 million. He inhaled sharp. Jesus. And he never helped me proper. He did, more than once. That was loans. This is inheritance. It's not that simple. It is that simple. You're sitting on 12 million that should be divided. It's not mine to divide. It's structured. Quiet. I'll talk to a lawyer. I figured you would. Hung up and reread Daddy's letter. Money tests people. For years, Roland thought Daddy favored me. Maybe he did. Not because I was better, but because I listened. Now the test was on me. Dissolve and walk rich, or continue what Daddy started and risk being the villain in my own family. Slept light, flew back to Atlanta carrying more than papers, carrying a decision that would shape the rest of my life. Knew Roland wasn't going to take it quiet. Landed in Atlanta, sky looked wider. Drove straight to Daddy's house, Roland's truck already in the driveway. He was at the kitchen table with a legal pad like it was a business meeting. You move fast. Called an attorney, probate specialist in Atlanta. Of course, straight to it. You're not keeping that from me. I'm not keeping anything, but you don't understand what it is. Then explain. I walked him through it. Trust from 2002, supports veterans, medical, housing. Roland frowned. That's charity. It's responsibility, and you control it? Yes. And I get what? You weren't named beneficiary. Jaw tightened. So he cut me out. He made a decision. Because I struggled, because I wasn't perfect. He wrote a clause about financial stability, didn't want it dissolved. Roland slammed hand light on table, frustrated, not violent. What did he say about me? I hesitated. He said he already gave you what he could. Short, sharp laugh. So I get nothing. You got help, multiple times. That was different. Yes, it was. He paced. You always thought you were better. I never thought that. You stayed close, knew how to talk to him. I didn't. That's not about money. It is now. My lawyer says international trusts can be challenged, especially if assets not disclosed properly. They were referenced. That's standard. You sound prepared. I prepared for responsibility. Eyes narrowed. So what you gonna do? Keep running his secret foundation while I drown? There was a secondary clause. I could allocate a defined percentage annually for family stabilization if structured. Documented. Conditional. Daddy thought of everything. I can create a support plan, debt counseling, oversight, controlled distributions tied to accountability. Roland stared like I insulted him. You want to manage me? I want to protect what Daddy built. You think I'll agree? No, I think you'll fight it. And you okay with that? No, but I'm not dissolving the trust. Room went quiet. Neighbor dog barked once, then stopped. Roland grabbed his jacket. You choosing strangers over your own brother. I'm choosing what Daddy intended. Anger, but underneath, old hurt. You always wanted his approval. No, I wanted his trust. He left without slamming the door. That night, I reread the documents. Everything measured, structured. Daddy knew this moment would come. Knew money would test us. Next morning, papers from Roland's attorney. Full disclosure request, undue influence, lack of transparency. It began. Not shouting, just paperwork. Procedure. Hired older attorney in Atlanta. Thomas Reeves, gray hair, Navy vet, calm voice. This is solid. Your father was thorough. He expected this. Families don't fall apart over money. Money just reveals what was already there. Roland wasn't evil, just resentful. And resentment plus $12 million is dangerous. Drove back to Daddy's house, stood in the living room with no medals on the wall. His quiet life was making noise now, and I had to decide how loud it got. Roland filed in 3 weeks. Formal petition in Fulton County Circuit Court, challenging validity, foreign holdings, equal distribution. Legal words turning family into categories. Thomas called when papers served. Standard. He's testing the structure. Will it hold? Yes. If everything's complete, it will hold. First hearing. Plain courtroom, beige walls, fluorescent lights. No cameras. Roland looked tired across the table. Judge reviewed. His attorney argued Swiss trust unfairly limited inheritance under Georgia law. Thomas steady. Trust predates any claim by 20 years. Legally established. Referenced in will. No undue influence. It wasn't a fight. It was an audit. Judge asked for more docs. Set next hearing. Outside, Roland finally spoke. You could end this today. How? Split it. Not mine to split. $12 million. Nobody would know. Daddy would know. You making him bigger than he was. No, I'm discovering who he was. Next hearing, more Swiss papers, everything clean. Third hearing, the 4-star general walked in quiet, sat behind us. Thomas called him. Testified, calm. I served with Mr. Turner, man of discipline and integrity. I knew his intention for long-term support. Roland's lawyer tried to say General influenced Daddy. General didn't raise voice. No one influenced him. If anything, he influenced others. Room shifted. Steady authority carries weight. Judge recessed, came back. Trust is valid. Predates conflict. No undue influence. Petition dismissed. Just like that. No gavel drama. Dismissed. Outside courthouse, Roland stood by his truck, staring at pavement. You really weren't gonna bend. No. You'd rather let me lose publicly. I didn't make you file. He looked up, anger thinner. He never trusted me. That's not what this was. Feels like it. I'm not your enemy. Tired half smile. Feels like you are. Drove off. That night I opened the hallway safe, combination in Daddy's notebook. Inside, folded American flag from years ago. Photo of Daddy with 3 men, no uniforms. Small note. Steady wins. That was all. Roland lost publicly, but more, he lost the lie that Daddy's quiet life meant small. Trust intact, I had full authority. Winning didn't feel like victory, felt like responsibility confirmed. And responsibility ain't loud, it's steady. For a week after, Roland went silent. No calls, no texts. I kept disbursements going, medical bills, tuition, mortgage help. But Daddy's line kept ringing in my head. You don't advertise help, you just provide it. Roland wasn't named beneficiary, but he wasn't excluded from humanity either. Drove to Decatur Thursday afternoon. His townhouse, same. Grass too long, porch light out. He opened slow. Figured you'd come. Can I come in? Sat at his small table. I'm not here to argue. Then why? Because this ain't about winning. Skeptical smile. Feels like it was. I'm not dissolving the trust, but Daddy built a provision for family stabilization, structured, controlled, accountable. What that mean for me? I can allocate funds annually if you agree to financial counseling and oversight. Jaw tight. You want to monitor my spending? I want to break the cycle. I'm not a child. No, you my brother. I reviewed Daddy's records. He paid your credit cards twice, covered business loan once, helped with down payment. Roland looked away. He never made me feel small. I'm not trying to. Then why conditions? Because he believed in boundaries, so do I. You think I can't manage money? I think you haven't yet. Factual, not cruel. He exhaled slow. I wanted him proud of me. I know. He never said it to me either, but he showed it. Eyes glassy. You got the trust. That says enough. No, it says he trusted me to protect it. Different. I'm offering structured debt repayment, advisor paid by trust, capped annual distribution tied to progress. No lump sum, no blank check. If I say no, nothing changes. He nodded slow. You'd really walk away. I already did, in court. That wasn't revenge. That was reality. I don't want to be the guy who sued his sister over money. Then don't be. Tired laugh. You always talk like Daddy. I learned from him. We spent the next hour on spreadsheets. What he owed, 5-year stabilization plan instead of 1. Not glamorous, just discipline. When I left, he walked me to the door. You really went to Switzerland? Yes. And he really built all that? Shook his head. I thought he was small. He wasn't. Driving back to Atlanta, I realized revenge ain't always crushing somebody. Sometimes it's refusing to let resentment win. Roland tried to force the trust open. Instead, he stepped into structure. Not because I humiliated him, but because I didn't. Daddy lived quiet. I finally understood why. A year later, we stood together at the cemetery in Marietta. Not because we had to, because it felt right. Headstone same, clean, simple. Roland looked different. Not older in face, but in posture. Sharp edges softened. Finished first year of counseling, paid down half his debt, sold extra truck, closed credit lines. Not perfect, but steady. Trust running exactly as Daddy designed. Quarterly medical payments, 2 kids of old teammates starting college. Widow in Texas keeping her home. No press, no galas, just steady. Roland glanced at the stone. I used to think he was holding out on us. He was holding something, just not what we thought. Do you ever wish you'd split it? No. Even when I sued you? Especially then. Small smile. Wind moved the flags, same as funeral day. Some things don't change, don't need to. Before we left, Roland cleared his throat. I was wrong. About him. About you. I know. Didn't need more words. On the drive back, I thought about opening Daddy's letter in that Geneva office. Money changes how people listen. He was right. For months, Roland only heard numbers. So did I, if I'm honest. 12 million can make your pulse race. But the number faded. What stayed was structure, responsibility, legacy. Daddy didn't leave me wealth to enjoy. He left me a standard to keep. Some nights the paperwork, the decisions, the oversight felt heavy. But every time I wanted to simplify, sell, make it easy, I remembered how Daddy lived. No medals, no stories, just steady. Roland meets his advisor monthly now, sends updates because he wants to. We still disagree sometimes, still got history. But resentment ain't at the center of the table no more. Trust built to outlast me. Swiss office got succession rules, safeguards. Daddy thought in decades, not months. I used to think loud success mattered. Bigger houses, faster promotions, public shine. Now I see different. Steady wins. If you ever sat at a kitchen table after a funeral, wondering what somebody really left behind, you know. It ain't just money. It's patterns, discipline, the example you choose to follow or reject. My daddy was a retired Navy SEAL. No medals on the wall, no stories. Lived quiet, died quiet. But he didn't leave quiet. He left instructions and trusted me to follow them. Y'all seeing this whole journey? Drop a if you team Gloria. What would you do, sis, if your own brother came for you like that? Comment period below if this hit you in the feels. And if this story made you think about somebody in your life who lived steady instead of loud, honor them today. Call if you can, forgive if you need to, learn while time's still here. If you believe strength don't gotta shout to matter, like, subscribe, share with your sisters. Tell me in the comments what steady means in your life, because sometimes the greatest legacy ain't what you inherit,